Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Geeky Gentleman, the podcast for all your geeky needs and style tips, all rolled into one extraordinarily packaged podcast. Now, in today's episode, we're discussing the news that Sony has just killed Spider-Man in the MCU. Those mother... But in the gentleman's portion, I'm giving you guys one of my newest and favorite brands that you have to check out as soon as possible. Alrighty then, enough said, let's jump right into the podcast. First, I am pissed. I was all excited that Marvel finally got the X-Men and Fantastic Four back home, but the world could not have comic book fans happy for too long because it's been reported that Marvel Studios and Sony Entertainment have failed to come to a financial agreement for the Spider-Man franchise. So as of right now, the Tom Holland Spider-Man who bounces between the Sony films and the MCU is kind of dead in the water, at least hopefully just for the time being. So, the initial agreement between Sony Entertainment and Disney, which of course is the parent company of Marvel Studios, was that Disney received around the range of 5% of the first dollars grossed from the Spider-Man films. But Disney asked that any future films starring Tom Holland would be a 50-50 co-financing arrangement, and Sony was not having any of it. Deadline is also reporting that Kevin Feige would no longer be able to produce any more Spider-Man films, essentially eliminating Marvel's involvement in any of the future films with the Spider-Man character. Do I sound angry? It's because I am. Personally, I think it's fair that Disney wants to go in 50-50. Sure, it's not like they need more money, but up until Disney's involvement, Spider-Man was well on the way to being a ruined franchise, just the way 20th Century Fox killed the X-Men films. Now, there are people out there that would disagree, but the Sony Spider-Man films started to suffer creatively and financially since Spider-Man 3, the one with Tobey Maguire and his emo dance moves. With that track record, Sony would have driven the franchise into the ground like we've seen with other franchises like Batman films in the 90s and the X-Men films just recently. But of course, with the help of Disney, they were able to bring back Spider-Man in a huge way. The recent film Spider-Man Far From Home crossed the 1 billion milestone, and I'm sorry Sony, but that is really only due to the creative assistance of Marvel Studios. They found the proper character tone for Peter Parker and Spider-Man with Tom Holland, and by putting him firmly within the MCU, that drove fans to this film. Oh my god, I'm so livid by the stupidity of Sony right now. Sony's feeling all good about themselves right now because they've had success with the film Venom and Into the Spider-Verse. But in my opinion, I think they were just lucky with those films. They have another Spider-Man villain film coming out, Morbius, but if Sony doesn't agree with Marvel Studios and get this problem with Spider-Man solved, I'm kind of ready to boycott all these Sony Spider-esque films. It's just really disheartening, especially for fans, because Spider-Man has already been established with the MCU and as a successor to Iron Man in many ways, and we're kind of ready to see where the MCU is going to take Peter and what they're going to do with him next, especially now that his secret identity has been blown. If you're wanting to take a proactive approach to help Sony realize their mistake, you can always tweet like hell. I've actually been tweeting a lot today. Hashtags like Sony killed Spider-Man and boycott Sony are already trending. It's always about money, so if you want Sony to hurt, then don't go see any of their films. While tweeting, it's because they won't work with Disney on the future Spider-Man films. It's unclear if negotiations are still going on, and what this means for the third film in the Spider-Man trilogy, which I believe Tom Holland is still contracted to do. I don't think Sony and Disney expected it to go this way, so this might be a gray area. But go make your voices heard so that Sony knows that the fans want to see Spider-Man in the MCU and that we want Marvel Studios to have a hand in helping the Spider-Man films in the future. And just tell them to give it back to Marvel. Worst case scenario, here's hoping Disney has something smart up their sleeves, like keeping Tom Holland character within the MCU, but he can be called Night Monkey. Or better yet, just have him already be the new Iron Man. Yeah, I think we're ready for that. I think we would prefer to see that than nothing at all. I mean, just give it back to Marvel, Sony. Just give it back to Marvel. And with that horribly upsetting news, we're jumping right into the gentleman's portion of the podcast. So one of my favorite things to do on this podcast is to share with you guys my favorite products that I'm currently using. But today, I'm sharing with you guys one of the latest and favorite brands that I have discovered, and that is Rondorf. Rondorf aligns itself with the Swedish functionality, but with French style. They have a very unique and stylish vision when it comes to their clothing. It's smart, it's sharp, and it's timeless. They take men's basics, such as underwear, t-shirts, tanks, and gym clothes, and elevate it with a stylish edge. Now, whether you want to wear it at the gym, home, or on the street, Rondorf proves that they know how to create perfect pieces that aren't overly casual or too flashy. I recently got a white t-shirt with the product tagline, "Discipline is not a dirty word," and a pair of navy blue shorts. Now, the quality of the clothing is ridiculously nice, and like the brand promised, I could wear this as an epic stylish outfit. It's perfect for the people who love wearing their sportswear as an outfit, but it's like 10 times better. The shorts I could definitely use during physical activity, but I just love them so much that I just want to keep them nice, so I just wear it when I go out instead of at the gym. I even got some swimwear for summer. I got this epic pair of red and white striped swim briefs, and they just fit perfectly without gripping, my crown jewels or my butt too tight. It just fit like a glove, and it was just perfect. It was literally my favorite piece of swimwear to wear this summer. The brand is very European, so their sizing is more tailored, so you're not going to have any of those oversized looks. You don't have to worry about that. It has a very nice tailored fit. I'm officially a fan. They have a flagship store here in London, and they also have one in Paris, but you can definitely buy it online. So I definitely recommend giving it a Google. Go check out Rondorf. You will thank me for it later. And there you guys have it. A new brand to check out and to add to your wardrobe. A big thank you for listening to another episode of The Geeky Gentleman. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the podcast. That would definitely give me a happy. It would make me so happy. So feel free to drop me a DM on Instagram. I'm at DriftingDCal. If you have any style or grooming questions, and I want to hear your thoughts on this whole Sony Spider-Man drama, and actually what you guys think of the brand Rondorf. If you want more content from me, feel free to visit my blog, www.driftingdudes.com. And until our next podcast adventure, I will talk at you guys later. Bye.